Hello and welcome to the Docking Bay 77 podcast YouTube channel. I am one of the hosts, Dayton Johnson. Joining me for another one of our Versus episodes, it is Disney John. How you doing?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You were whispering.
God. And we're off.
We are.
So, great way to start. All right. So, on our Versus episodes, we take an original song and we compare it to a cover version. So, for this particular one, we are looking at the song Careless Whisper, originally from Wham, and covered by the hard rock band out of South Africa, Seether. So, going into this, Disney John, which one were you more familiar with? I think I know.
It was definitely Wham's version, or
Yes.
as I originally thought, the George Michael version.
Well, I'll get to that in just a minute because that was kind of the plan. So, but yes. Well, yeah, I think most of us of a certain generation were very familiar with that version.
Yeah, between you and I, that's our different generation. I mean,
Wham
was a large part of the '80s bubblegum pop stuff that was going on at the time.
Right.
And then George Michael went on to his own single career, and that's where George Michael was like a god to me back then. I wanted his hair and his voice. He was just like, his good looks, everything. I was just like, man, genetics are unfair.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah. I always, I was not a fan of Wham, so to speak. And I can tell you that this version, the original version from Wham / George Michael, was all over the radio and all over MTV. And of course, and kind of beaten into our brains and into our ears. And I was fine because I actually liked the song, the video, which featured only him.
Yes.
And
again, which reinforces the point that I thought this was a George Michael.
Yes. And the thing is, I always felt sorry for Andrew Ridgeley, his bandmate who, co-wrote a lot of the songs and was a part of the, and then it was just kind of like, no, he's not, it's like, with Hall & Oates, nobody really cares about John Oates, it's like, or Simon Garfunkel, Garfunkel is just, it's the other guy that Paul Simon doesn't need anymore. So those three ought to tour together and call it the Other Guys Tour.
Right.
Sorry.
No kidding.
I'm sorry. That was bad. Anyway. Okay.
That was really funny. The Other Guys Tour.
The Other Guys Tour. Yeah. With John Oates and Andrew Ridgeley and, and Simon or Garfunkel. Yeah. There you go. Anyway. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into some facts about the original song.
Please tell me.
Careless Whisper appears on Wham's 1984 album Make It Big. It was released as a single on July 23rd of that year and was a follow-up to the song that makes my skin crawl, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
Before you go.
I just don't even. Anyway, moving on. It reached number 1 on the UK singles chart 2 weeks after its release and stayed there for 3 weeks. It was the UK's 5th best-selling single of that year. It reached number 1 in 25 countries and was Billboard's number 1 song of 1985. In the UK, the single was credited to Michael alone as part of his strategy of going solo. In the US, it was credited to Wham featuring George Michael. There you go. George Michael started writing the song when he was 17 years old while he was riding the bus to his job as a DJ. His bandmate, Andrew Ridgeley, which we mentioned earlier, the other guy, wrote the guitar progression on his Fender Telecaster that he got for his 18th birthday. They recorded the first demo of the song January 18th, 1982 on a Porta studio with a local producer who charged them £20. So not a bad deal, I know, right? Even though it was written before their first album, George Michael kept retooling it and re-recording it, even doing different versions of the saxophone, different performers playing over and over again. The final version of the song makes it onto the album, and it runs 6 minutes and 32 seconds long. The single edit and the video run 5 minutes. Now, I listened to the album version for this, and the first minute and a half that got cut off is kind of fluff. There's some singing and whatever, but literally when the drums kick in on the actual video, that's where it's just like there's all this stuff. It's like a preamble. It's all it is. It's
100%.
Yeah, it does really. Anyway, so there you go. I do find it funny that as preparing for this, I was looking at all the other people that have covered the song. So a lot of different
I might
artists.
say is a different thing than we usually do because
Yes.
usually it's me going far afield.
Yes. Yeah. So I was going through it and searching and just going, like, okay, cool. So other artists that have covered it include Kenny G, Brian McKnight, Julio Iglesias, State of Mind, which was kind of cool, very heavy version. Bridget Calls Me Baby, the Supervillains, and True Blood. Many different genres, including ska, R&B, metal, and alt rock. So I got to say, the Villains version of the ska version is actually really good. Got to say that. Okay, it was kind of nice. Go check that out. And I also want to call out a version I found as I was scrolling through all these other artists that did it. It's an instrumental version from an artist, and I'm going to mess up his name, and I apologize. Kafir Ocean. He does guitar instrumental versions of so many different popular songs. They are outstanding. He is so good. So you can find his version on Spotify as well. So
Sorry.
there's a lot more going on. Are you listening to it?
No, I was going to, but I remembered that suddenly all of my stuff comes through the
Yes,
computer.
let's not do that.
I stopped that. Well, I want
Yes.
to listen to the one from Supervillains if you liked it that much. So
Yeah, it's a good version. It's a good version. So, but yes, a lot of different artists, a lot of different genres of and not even mentioning the one we're talking about tonight. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into the thoughts on the original from Wham / George Michael. John, you go first.
I will say this is the version that I grew up with. I mean, like literally in the 80s, if you are listening to any kind of like, I mean, in our area it was Q102 at the time. Listen to that pop rock. I mean, if you're going to listen to something, they're going to play it 8 times for you in the next hour, right? I mean, like they just played the same songs over and over again. But at the 80s, that's what we did.
It was top 40 radio. You knew you're going to hear that song an hour later.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's exactly what's going to happen. So I mean, it was in my ear holes a lot in the 80s, but it was also one of the songs that I didn't hate hearing over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Right.
I also super fan of George Michael. I really enjoyed George Michael's solo career. He did some great stuff, and it just made me smile. I like his sound, I like everything about it. And then this one comes out, and I legitimately forget that this is a Wham song.
Most people do.
Really, yeah, I really think this is just a Michael. Like I always think it's his.
Well, yeah, it does appear on his greatest hits packages too. So yes, it's pretty much like I said.
Well, he wrote it for himself, but I mean, it seems like Andy who the other guy.
Yeah. Right, I know. Andrew Ridgely,
I mean,
poor
which
guy.
is unfortunate for him, but it's such a good song. It's very easy to listen to. It's almost, I would probably put this in the yacht rock category.
I mean, hate that term.
I know, I do too, but like that's where it goes. Wouldn't you think?
I don't know. I call it.
You don't want to say yes.
No, it's 80s pop. It's 80s pop.
Oh, 100% for me, it's 80s pop. But nowadays, I feel like it would fit easily into the yacht rock category.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I'm an 80s kid, so this is just George Michael.
Yeah. Yes.
Done. Just call it done, right?
That's how I would describe it. Oh, it's a George Michael song, and then you go, okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I can sing his whole album. Like
that I can't do.
I love his.
I know the word. I will say that. Well, actually, I'll come back to it. But I had an easier time understanding all the lyrics in the cover. Go figure that.
100%.
I don't know how.
Blown away by. I was like,
I know. Whatever.
What
anyway,
like,
I know. Seriously,
this was wrong for years.
I know. I love that. So, my thoughts on George Michael's version. I actually love the saxophone, which is basically the main riff. I mean, it really is. I do like the fact that after reading that he had at least 2 or 3 different artists perform it, and he didn't like the first couple, so he waited for another one, which is the main reason why he did not end up on their debut album, which I think actually works out better for them in the long run than it wasn't on the debut. So I love that. Of course, George Michael's vocals are just great.
On point.
And specifically in my favorite part, actually the bridge, which is it's right before the last chorus, his voice, I don't know if it goes up an octave or what, but or up a key, but it just has more power in that section.
There's a key shift there.
Yeah, it feels like that. So I love that's my favorite section of the entire song. And actually, from then to the end, I really, really like. The rest of it's good. I mean, it's a very melancholy song. It's one of those that, 15-year-old Dayton who got his heart broken would be playing the song,
Oh God, yes, right?
it would have
Seriously.
just been on repeat, because it's just,
Yep.
it's sad, because I'm sure it was something I did, so of course I'm going to play,
Well,
you
and it's
idiot.
not on repeat. It's like
Yeah, right. Just,
whisper,
exactly.
like
Rewind, rewind, Um, the production is solid, especially with listening to it on headphones. You can hear the bass, you can hear the acoustic guitar. It's all nice and clear, and I really do love that. It's 80s pop without the really bad synth that was really popular in
yes.
the
No,
80s.
you're
So,
right.
mm, ah,
Yeah.
whatever. But yes, I I appreciate the arrangement because especially even now and during the 70s and 80s, a lot of pop songs, the song just fades out repeating the chorus. They don't do that here, and I really love that.
Yes, I know, because you don't like a hard cut at the end of a song.
No, I don't
You
like
don't like that
I don't like a long fade
long.
out. Yeah, I don't like a long fade out a lot of times. It works on this one, but what I do appreciate, like I said, is just not repeating the chorus over and over
Yeah, they're
again.
not singing out, right?
Yes.
They're just
Yeah,
the
he's doing a little bit
music.
of a da da whatever, which
Right.
is fine. But yes, it takes its time fading out, and which is okay. I just am not a fan with rock songs more than pop songs. I just don't like fade outs because it's like you guys are practicing this in the garage and in the studio. You know how to end the song,
Right.
just friggin' end the song. But whatever. But yeah, there's so much about this song, and even though it's kind of lyrically it's a little over the top, at
Mhm.
times, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's just so good.
I think one thing I would love to hear are the trial versions. Like if you try different saxophones and different,
They're
I
actually
would
you
like.
can find those actually on Wikipedia when you just look for the song Careless Whisper, there
Uh-huh.
are a couple different versions. You can hear some of the alternate versions
of
of it, which I'm sure
of
appear.
George Michael
Yes.
singing it. Oh, that would
Yes.
be. I think that would be incredible. Like
Yeah,
the what if scenario.
there's a bunch of I believe they're actually on YouTube as well. So there
I'm
are
gonna look for that. I didn't
yeah.
bother to because like I said, I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole this time.
That's
I
okay. I did. I think I
I
listened to
like
seven
the.
different versions of the
Oh my
song.
god, that's my job.
I
I can't
know.
believe we flipped roles because like I stayed on task this time. I was very proud of myself. I was like, I'm not gonna look outside this. I'm gonna just do
Yeah.
the two things because Dayton will be happy with me. Ah, and then we get to freaking Seether, and what the hell, dude? Like,
All right. Well, speaking of
no,
Seether, let's move on to the cover version from Seether. It appears
so
on their
good.
2009 reissue of the album Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces, which, by the way, is a fantastic album title. Just love that album
Yeah.
title. And it was actually released as a single after the reissue of that album.
Oh,
So, the band's record label, Wind Up Records, requested a song to be released on iTunes for Valentine's Day. Now, not being a fan of the Hallmark holiday, they decided to, as lead singer and founding member Sean Morgan said, quote, take the piss out of it and we went with a love song. It's such an over the top dramatic song that we had to cover it. It's something we did as a joke and we did it for fun and it became a single because they
oh
had
my
such a good
god,
time doing it.
that's hysterical.
I know, right? I know. So yeah, I couldn't find any place where it showed how it charted as a single, but yes, it is not on the original issue of that album. It was on the 2009 reissue on the CD, and which also has the strings version of it, which I did not listen to because I didn't want to confuse it.
I didn't either because I was
Yeah,
afraid because I asked you specifically. I was like, wait, strings or no strings? And he goes, no
yeah,
strings. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
good. Because if I listen to the strings version, I might like it more. And I'm like, oh no, now we have a choice to make because yeah, actually, when we're done tonight, I'm going to listen
Yeah,
to what is it the supervillains. You mentioned
yes.
somebody else, and then I'm going to listen to the strings version of Seether because
Yes. There's like I said, just search Careless Whisper on Spotify and just scroll and
that's
because you'll
usually what
see
I do.
there's
I
so
usually
many, there's so many different versions of it. But anyway, and that speaks to the quality, but we're going to come
yeah,
to that in
it
a
does.
minute. So,
Okay,
all right.
so
So, thoughts on the cover version?
what an amazing hard rock version of a Kenny G sax sounding song, right? I mean, they take that guitar and make it sing. They can,
Yes.
right? To replace the sax, they take that guitar and they make that thing sing the sax line. And it was like, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't even feel like I'm missing the song, but this is a rock version of a love song that's not really a love song. Like, what an amazing like talent to be able to do that. Because I felt like I missed nothing
Right.
from
Okay.
George's to Seether's version, but Seether's version was so much harder than George's could ever be.
So I, okay. I love the sound. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
Seether, so it's going to sound like them. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if somehow you're living under a rock and you never heard the original version and you hear
It's
this
hard.
on Seether's album, then unless you're paying attention to the lyrics, they did such a good sounding version of it that you wouldn't think it's, not theirs. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, yeah, if you're paying attention to the lyrics, they are a little cheeseball
Yeah. Oh,
because it was
100%.
the 80s and whatever, that's fine. And it works.
We own the
But
cheese.
yeah, but it sounds so good. They did such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, as you pointed out, the guitar riff now, as from the sax, it's now a
Yeah.
guitar. It works so well, and for the most part, it's a straight cover.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And I gotta admit, Morgan did a great job with his vocals.
Yep.
He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
trying to hit the same,
Nope.
the same
They're
keys
not in the
because
same
it's not going to
range.
happen. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen, and that's fine. And
But I didn't miss it.
no, no, and like that's what I really like about it was that it sounds like them.
Yes.
It's just a power ballad, within the post grunge genre.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it could have worked had they, it could have been one of those songs, like I said, lyrically, had they changed the lyrics and just did their own, it would have been fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So to me, even though they did it as a joke, they did it really well.
They're really well. I mean, my
Yes.
God, I hope everybody takes their jokes that seriously because it was so well done.
Yep.
I didn't miss anything. He even got a couple of the whoas in
Yeah.
there as well. And
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my God, like this is great. Lyrically, it's identical. Like
Yes. Yes, it
and
is.
he
It is.
sings it and he sings it really well. Like,
He
I mean,
he follows the melody as far as how
yes,
Michael's. The only spot that he doesn't is during the bridge where
yep,
George Michael went really high. He
clearly
didn't
high.
because
No,
he's not going to do it,
he can't
and
do
that's
that.
fine. And
And I didn't miss it
no, not at all. Not
because
at
it
all.
fit the song that they were playing. I
Yes.
just what an incredible cover. Like, I mean, genuinely, what an incredible cover for this song. I mean, it's just it
Yes.
gave me shivers when I first turned it on. I was like, oh yeah, heavy metal version of this. This is gonna be oh holy crap, the guitar's playing a saxophone right now. Like, what the hell is happening right now? And then he sang the whole song. I'm like, that was an incredible cover. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want for anything. They changed it, but they didn't. Like it,
Yes.
yeah.
They made it theirs without
Oh,
without
100%.
they didn't change the arrangement. They didn't
Nope.
really do. I mean, they just kind of, like I said, they played it straightforward. They just did it in their style,
Yep.
and it
They
worked.
played it Seether style, baby.
Yep. Yep.
What an
All right.
incredible.
All right. Anything else about that one before we go on to our final judgment?
No,
No.
I think we said it all. I think it was an incredible cover. I mean, genuinely an incredible cover.
All right. Okay. So this is hard for me.
Me too.
So,
I'm not gonna lie.
all right. So I'm gonna let you go first.
I hate you so much right now.
I know you do. That's fine. So which one do you prefer?
Oh God, I hate you so much. Because I've not come down on the side on this one. I'm going to say George Michael's.
Okay.
And it has the nostalgia tag to it. So it's going to win because it's the one I'm most familiar with. But man, if I could give a 1.1A, it would be to Seether because it was such an incredible cover. Like I could listen to both back to back and feel like I'm listening to the same song, but not.
Right.
Right. It was just
No, I get that.
George Michael definitely just because of nostalgia wins out.
Okay. All right. So
I'm interested in yours.
it's very hard
Yeah.
because Seether's version is more in my wheelhouse.
Yes.
And I have no shame to admit that. But what really does it for me is that Seether made it their own, like I said, without changing it, without changing the arrangement, without changing lyrics. They did a straightforward cover for the most part. They just made it theirs. And they did a great job doing it, okay? And it came down to me after the only way I was able to decide was I listened to the other covers as well. And it
Okay.
came to the conclusion that so many of them are really good. And I think that speaks to the quality of the original, that
Mm-hmm.
nobody was able to make it better. They made it theirs, you know, and it works.
Make it better.
Yeah, because I don't think you is as cheesy as the lyrics can be at times and whatever. It doesn't change the fact that it's a almost a perfect pop song, you know,
Oh yeah.
and it holds up years later. So
Mm-hmm.
as much as I like the Seether one, you know, if it wasn't for Wham's version, you know, I'm just saying it's like
No, I,
the other versions are good, and so the theater, but they didn't improve on it. They didn't make the
right.
song better. They
Well, and
didn't.
you and I have done a couple of these verses songs, and we like the covers a little more than the
Yes,
originals
yes. There's been a
because
couple where the cover wins.
yeah, I mean, they just made it better. I mean, it
Yes.
was just a strictly better song, but like this one was just like, I'm sorry, George and Wham, just
Yeah.
you're not topping perfection.
Right.
You can
Exactly.
you can riff on perfection, but you can't top perfection.
Yep. I agree. Yep. So, well, I'm glad you had a chance to listen to that to see their version. Got that
So
into
good.
your ear holes.
Literally, I've already got Supervillains queued up. As soon as we stop recording, it's going to start playing. So
Yes, and I do, like I said, I do recommend the Kafir Ocean. His instrumental version is very good as well. Like I
Okay.
said, most of the ones I found, they're I didn't find one I didn't like. There's some really weird. There's one that was a really odd take on it, but you're like, okay, you know, it's obviously in their genre, so that's
Mhm.
fine. And but yeah, it was interesting. Anyway, I will put links to both the original and the Seether versions in the comments,
Heck yeah.
so that way you guys can check it
Enjoy
out
them.
and let us know what you think about these two songs. But yes,
Don't
so
forget to hit the like button right down below.
yes, that's right. Hit like, subscribe, and of course comment. Subscribe and hit that bell so that way you can get a notification when a new video drops. And we do a new full length, quote unquote, full length video every Friday, and I do shorts as well when I can find time. So make sure to check that out. Thank you, John, for joining me for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
And to everybody watching, thank you very much for spending time with us, and we will see you next time.